just ever feel like when you watch LSU athletics that like at minimum 10 years of your life is taken away? Because that's exactly how I feel. My heart is literally beating through my chest. I know that yours is. But nevertheless, you win 2 games today, and you will be playing tomorrow to send, and I got to be honest, to not only send yourself to a super, but to host a super regional. My heart is hurting. We are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports. Hope all of you are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Every postgame show is brought to you by our good friends over at the Athletic Collection, guys. All the stickers, posters, all the baseball stuff that you will want is over at the Athletic Collection. You can follow them on social media, all their stuff that they're promoting. If you're a Tiger fan, you can go over there and purchase all of that. And our good friends over at betonline.ag, use that promo code BELIEVE50, all college baseball, regional, super regional, and in Omaha to be able, and if you're a first-time bettor on BetOnline, you can use a 50% off welcome bonus by using the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. You'll get 50% off of that welcome bonus. What a day for LSU baseball. Now, we'll talk about the Wofford game a little bit later. Let's get into this UNC game that we have here. As I always remind you before we start breaking things down, everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. If you're on Facebook, share to all those groups, share to all the social media pages, share if you're on YouTube as well. Don't forget to subscribe. Josh Pearson came up clutch and got things going for you in the first inning. He had a massive 2-run bomb. That doesn't start, though, without Jared Jones, who got into 3 full counts and had walks that would wind up leading you putting pressure on North Carolina. In the first, Mr. Clutch, Josh Pearson, at least postseason playoff Pearson, Triple P, as we need to call him, hits a 2-run bomb in the first. Now, we're going to get to Thatcher Herd in a minute because he went 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3 in 3 innings. But setting the tone with that home run was absolutely massive, and it got things going for you. For sure. You come up in the second, you got a line drive single, you're unable to do anything with it. You're unable to get really anything going in the third as well, even though in the beginning of the third, I should say, Tommy White hits a ball that's hit 105.7 miles an hour off the bat. Gallagher is able to make a really good play at third, and off they went. But Milam gets an infield single. Jones gets another walk. So this is another thing. So back-to-back innings, Jones sees a lot of pitches, gets on base, another walk, and then Braswell would come up and get you an RBI single. You're up 3-0. Now you're already very quickly into the fourth. So let me stop right there through the 3 innings. Not only are you at the plate absolutely doing what you needed to do, at least in my opinion, I thought you had a lot of really good at-bats the first time and a half through the lineup, but the first third of the game, you 100% had the sense of urgency. You were having really good at-bats, seeing a lot of pitches. And that also comes on the heels of how good Thatcher Herd was. I think that when the team and momentum in baseball is such a big deal, when Herd is able to go 1-2-3 in the top of the first, 1-2-3 in the top of the second, and 1-2-3 in the top of the third, that set the tone. I thought it helped not only you just legitimately get things going, but it gave you a lot of confidence. Those first 3 innings for Thatcher Herd, guys, I don't know. Look, I'm going to say this, and people will say, well, what about him in Omaha? Those 3 innings by Thatcher Herd were the best that we have ever seen him in an LSU uniform, without question. considering who you're going up against and considering how he looked through 3 innings. He went 1, 2, 3, getting 2 flyouts in the first and then got a K. He comes back in the second, getting 2 big strikeouts to end an inning, his second and third there, and then went into the top of the third. He got another strikeout, a ground out, and a weak fly out into left field. So the first 3 innings, you played with a massive sense of urgency. You get 3 runs. Guys, if you get a run every inning, you're going to be damn good in this regional. You go into the top of the 4th, though, okay? And this is where North Carolina started to make a stand. Harbor hits a line drive into right field. It was the one that was down the line, the first hit that Herd had given up. It felt like, and it feels like, every time that Herd gets touched a little and finally gives up a hit, things can unravel for him. However, he got out of it, which I thought was a massive deal for him. So he's going the second time through the lineup. He gives up a hit. He gives up a double, and then he does have a little bit of issues. He gives up an RBI single in the right field again. Run scores. You had a wild pitch that I thought that Brady Neal, who, got to be honest, I thought struggled a little bit at times behind the plate tonight. But you do get up an RBI single, but Herd comes right back and closes the door, getting a big strikeout and gets out of a jam in the top of the 4th. So it's 3-1. Earlier this year, 1,000% Thatcher Herd isn't getting out of that situation. Big-time moments or big-time players make big-time pitches or big-time plays in big-time moments. I don't mind that he gives up a run. Like, I legitimately don't. Guys, this is a number 4 team in the country for a reason. And when you're able to get touched up a little bit, come back and close the door, I think was absolutely, positively magical for Thatcher Herd. And I think it really helped his confidence because he goes into the top of the 5th and goes 1, 2, 3 as well. It also gave confidence not only to Thatcher, in my opinion, but every time Thatcher was out there and gave you big innings, it really got momentum going for you at the plate. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th. Hayden Travinski. Now, let me stop right here. I tweeted this out earlier in the day, and I said, hey, Brady Neal had a really good day against Wofford. Do you start him? And y'all would have thought was asking the stupidest question of all time. This is why Jay doesn't do what you ask him to do. I can't believe Hayden Travinski's in the lineup. I'm literally putting this on Twitter, okay, for all of you to scoff at it. The reason I asked that was because not only does Hayden Travinski have more big-time at-bats than Brady Neal, he's hitting 176 points better than Brady Neal versus Power 5 opponents. Also, Brady Neal is hitting 150 points lower going into today versus mid-major programs versus P5 programs, or I guess you can say now P4 programs. So I know that he looked good against Wofford. I'm 1,000% with you. The question for me always became, can he do this against North Carolina? I thought he got a big-time hit today. I don't think he was that bad behind the plate. He did have some balls that were missed that I thought that Milazzo would have gotten. And I do think it's interesting. I want to see the status of Milazzo because him not coming into the game late makes me question if he's okay physically. I thought that they would go there late to him, at least in the 9th. Is something wrong with Alex Milazzo? That's something that we're going to need to monitor into tomorrow as well. But I just wanted to say that about Travinski. Y'all would have thought I was asking the most dumb question of all time. It wasn't a dumb question, okay? The only reason I asked it was because of how big the splits are for Brady Neal. Let's go back to the bottom of the 4th. Hayden Travinski doubles. So we talked about this on Friday, and I got a lot of pushback on Travinski in reference to this. Guys, when you're pulling the ball the way that he is foul and hitting it as hard as he has been, the conversation that you and I had literally on Friday sounded like this. It's if you're seeing and touching the ball like that, I get that it's going foul. At some point, he's going to break through. That's the conversation you and I had. Now, a lot of you wanted him pulled, but he hits a double in the bottom of the fourth. Now, they did not score an error. You can call it a single. Quite honestly, I don't give a shit what you call it. The man got a base hit, but they ruled it a double because the error was not awarded to North Carolina. Brown and Napolt walk. This is where I thought things got really crucial for North Carolina. Brown and Napolt both were trying to bunt, and North Carolina cannot throw strikes. And I think that this is the main reason tonight why you won. Thatcher Herd getting the big home run from Travinski and Pearson. Yes, those are big things. But when it mattered, North Carolina legitimately could not throw strikes in crunch time. You did there late. So I will just say you can look at the fourth and look at the ninth. When Gavin Guidry comes in here and throws strikes, now I know he walks some guys, but is able to get out of these innings, it's a massive deal. You go into the bottom of the fourth. Brown walks, Napolt walks. Tommy Tanks hits a single in the right field, which scores a run. Milam gets a hit into right field. He gets a 2 RBI single in right field. Bear Jones walks again. Look, guys, Bear Jones is seeing it as good as anybody. When you walk 3 times in a game, 7 times in this regional, dude is seeing it very well. They're not throwing anything hard to him. Not only does he lead your team, okay, in walks. Guys, I would love to know how many walks, like what is the record for in a season for walks for LSU. I'm sure Bear Jones isn't close to touching it, but I would still want to know it. He's got to be getting up there. 50-plus walks. I think now 55 is absolutely insane. 55 walks for a guy with that type of power when the maturity is coming out in him, okay, at the plate when you're able to watch that many pitches. He gets a walk. Pearson hits into a 6 unassisted double play that does score 1, and then Braswell hits into a fly ball into center field. The first 4 innings, you were exceptional. I thought you were exceptional. Even going into the 5th with Herd, getting a 1-2-3. Herd gets 3 ground balls. He throws 7 pitches. The momentum is completely and 100% on your side. You go to the bottom of the 5th. Travinski comes right back up, hits a bomb, an outright piss missile into left center field. See ya. Goodbye. But this is where things started to turn, is when you get into the 6th. This is where Herd started to get touched a little bit. All of this in the 6th for North Carolina in the top of the 6th came with 2 outs. Harbor gets a double into right center field. So remember earlier, literally 5 minutes ago, you and I just discussed that every single time that Thatcher gets hit a little bit, things continue to fall down the rails. Today was not different. It was just how he was able to close the door. However, he wasn't able to close the door in the 6th. Harbor gets a double in the right center field. 2 wild pitches gets him to, or a wild pitch gets him to third, and or 2 wild pitches gets him home. He had a wild pitch, and then they labeled it a pass ball, and a run scores for North Carolina. Big error by Herd when the ball was hit to Bear Jones. Herd's unable to get to the bag. He gives up a single and then a 4-pitch walk, and then he gets out, and then Lore comes in. He also gives up a walk, and then Uoa comes in and gets a K on Gallagher, who has been absolutely electric, and then you get out of the inning. we're going to talk about the bullpen here probably for the rest of the game and breaking this down because you're going to give up a lot of walks. You're going to give up some runs, but you held on. You won this bullpen who had been shaky all year, and tonight they were shaky. They were just able to close the door. You were able to hold on. Look, you don't really get anything else going offensively after the fifth. You get a couple of hits, in the sixth, you got a couple of hits. In the seventh, you got nothing going. In the eighth, you got nothing going. And obviously in the ninth, you didn't hit. But I mean, after 5 innings, you literally got you got 2 hits. So let's go into the bullpen here. In the top of the seventh, Ulloa comes up, gives up back-to-back walks. This was crucial because Honeycutt, who hit 2 home runs on you in game 1, is up. So no outs. Ulloa just gave up 2 walks, which, by the way, guys, can we do this? Can we? The guy, Zach, I think it was his name. Can we pull up his K-zone? Yes. I want the K-zone from the top of the 7th, if we can pull that up. Yeah, just send me the link. All right, here it is. I don't know if you can see this, and if you're on podcast, okay, I apologize. We're showing the K-zone on the second walk that was given up by Fidel Ulloa. Now, if you're looking on the screen, I want you to look at this. All right, the first pitch was a swinging strike. The next 4 pitches are labeled balls, okay? Literally labeled balls. But the problem with that, do y'all see the green? Do y'all legitimately see the green here? He's literally, ESPN is saying that he's inside the zone. So I know that Ulloa came in and gave up 2 walks, but you literally have 2 pitches down the dick of right down the dick, and you're unable to call those strikes. LSU got squeezed. LSU 1,000% got squeezed tonight. I know that this is, we come in here and we, Blake's going to come in here and blame umpires again. Tonight's guy is a dude that's an umpire in the SEC. Just so everybody's aware. The guy behind the plate tonight is an SEC guy. And we're legitimately pulling this up of ESPN's K-Zone saying that one of those walks was complete bullshit. And it wasn't the only time that it happened. I'm not going to pull up every K-Zone. I'm not going to do it to Gavin Guidry in the 9th. I'm not going to do it to Cade Anderson, okay, who came into the top of the 7th as well. But it was complete and utter horseshit. You got absolutely squeezed behind the plate as the game went into it. Wouldn't matter, though. Ulloa gives up 2 walks. He strikes out what is going to be a top 20 pick in Vance Honeycutt. I could make the argument it was one of the biggest cases because I felt like momentum was starting to slip. You get a strikeout. Cade Anderson comes in the top of the 7th, right behind Ulloa, and gets a strikeout of the 1-2 guys in that lineup and get you out of that current situation. Problem is Cade Anderson hit a pitcher or hit somebody and then gives up a 2 RBI single that goes off the base. Not a lot he can do. But let me stop right there. The hit that Cade Anderson gave up that went off the base should have never happened. Because, again, in the top of the 7th, we're legitimately showing you that should have been a strikeout. At worst, it should have been a run. But it is what it is. He gets a fly out to Jones to end the inning. It is what it is there. Anderson comes in the top of the 8th. He gives up a single. He gets back-to-back Ks on Gallagher and Madera. He walks Wilkerson. Guidry comes in and strikes out Honeycutt, who, guys, when dudes like that have bad performances and bad outings, we got to watch out for him tomorrow. I'm just going to tell you. I'm nervous that guy having a bad day today because tomorrow I think you don't keep great hitters down long. You just don't. But Cade Anderson, I thought, stepped up big tonight. I thought that The freshman was electric. Guys, I mean, we're talking about a lefty that was coming in throwing 95 miles an hour and had absolutely electric stuff. He looked great. Truth be told, you're going to need him again tomorrow, which we're going to talk about here in just a minute. Before we end the wrap up, if you got thoughts, questions, concerns, throw them inside the Rudy Crew chat. If you 100% want your comment read, you got to send in the super chat as well. Let's go to the top of the ninth, which I thought legitimately was going to give me a heart attack. Cook comes up and gets a single up the middle, and then you get a fly out. So you feel good. Look, runner on first, you got one out. But this goes to exactly what I thought was happening to Gavin Guidry. Now, I thought he was wild a little bit. I also thought some things were really inside the zone. He gives up back-to-back walks. I went back to K-zone, man. If he was missing and K-zone was off, he wasn't missing that much. Not as much as they're saying he was missing. But he does give up back-to-back walks. So you have bases loaded, one out. And Stevenson is up, who's gotten 3 singles on you on the day. Gavin Guidry, full count, gets a strikeout. Massive. Big time strikeout there against Stevenson. Then Gallagher, who hit the home run in their game one, or hit the grand slam in their game one, hits 1-2, about the warning track, and you get out of it. So, look, all in all, great game. I just, high-intensity game. And you live to fight until tomorrow for you to host a super regional. And I am just going to tell you, if you get to go back home and host a super, you might find yourself, guys, you're a game away. Because you're not – I do think that UNC is better than West Virginia or Grand Canyon. Legitimately, I do. You're a game away. Now, as the show goes on, I'm sure we'll talk about who I think goes tomorrow. But when both games today, Wofford, let me get into Wofford very quickly. I'm not going to break that one down a whole lot. But even that one, going down 5-1 or going down 5-0 in the first inning felt like the worst possible thing that could happen. But Josh Pearson starts off your rally. You get a lot of big hits. I think it was the second time this year you had gotten 20 hits in a game. The first game that you played in the year against Virginia Military Institute, VMI. And today in game one was the 2 times that you got 20 hits. Sense of urgency, man. The moment wasn't too big and you fought back. Same thing about tonight. It just, when your back was up against the wall, like this season has been going, you fought. And a lot of big-time hits today, a lot of big-time pitching today. I did think that Griffin Herring was absolutely electric. I don't think he can give you anything tomorrow, man. Like, legitimately, I don't. I mean, your season's on the line. If he feels okay, I don't know. I don't think he will be available, but who knows? But he gave you and propelled you to get the win. He was locked down, shut down, didn't allow anything to happen for you to come back, and you absolutely stomped Wofford. I got to admit, though, I legitimately got to admit, other than the Cade Anderson double, okay, your bullpen was not bad, has not been bad, or was not bad today at all. At least I don't think it was. The question becomes now, where do you go from here? All right. Let's get your thoughts, questions, concerns. If you want your comment read again, put it inside the Rudy Crew chat, and we'll get to as many of them as we can. Anthony B. Saints sends a $199 super chat. He says, Milazzo needs to start tomorrow, hunts for defense. Look, I don't know anything, okay, and I could be dead wrong. This is opinion. Okay, strictly opinion. I don't know anything. I'm going to try to find out. Maybe my hunch is 1,000% off. I'm very, 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 very surprised that Milazzo did not come in the 8th and 9th innings. I know that he's caught a lot, but UNC's catcher's also caught a lot. He's caught all 3 games. I get that he's been behind the plate a lot. However, I am questioning why he didn't come in. Is he hurt? What's up? What's up? Again, my hunch can be 1,000% off there. 1,000% off. So we'll see. Anthony says, your thoughts on Arkansas and DB losing. Dallas Baptist. Dallas Baptist lost. Very quickly, I'll thank you, Anthony, for both the super chats. I'll say this. My thoughts on Arkansas losing their regional. I think that they need to have a very strong conversation about Dave Van Horn. They are regular season champs. I know they get to Omaha have been to Omaha. I think the last time was 2022. I don't know, man. Just big game. They can't. Dave is a horrible manager in big game stuff. Y'all question Jay Johnson about a lot of shit. Like the other night when Arkansas lost, he pulled the McIntyre kid because he had 2 runners on. Like, that's your ace. Like, Jay tonight had the bases loaded with not his ace out of the pen. Like, basically last night when they lost, it's like Griffin Herring letting 2 guys on and then pulling him. Their bullpen is elite, and I get that. But I think the way that Dave Van Horn mismanages his staff, even though that staff is very good, is highly questionable. They can't hit worth a fuck either. They can pitch it, though. Trip Block, what's up, buddy? He says, who goes tomorrow? Jump. Question mark. No, I mean, could he come in and give you 50 pitches with the season on the line? Maybe. In reference to starting, I don't know. So basically, to Tripp's super chat and question here, who do I think would go tomorrow? Here's what I think that they would do. I would assume that they go Javen Coleman. The issue that I have with Coleman, which you can't have an issue, right? Like you cannot have an issue here because it's who you got. He has not thrown. I got to be real with you. Other than Holman and Herring, and even maybe someone Herring and maybe Herd, everybody else is on deck. Like, I even think Gage Jump, if he needed to, like for your season on the line, to give you 50 pitches. I mean, because look, and you can ask any pitching coach this. I would assume that Gage Jump tomorrow anyway would give you a light bullpen of 50 pitches. I really don't think that Jay's going to do that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't even know if Jay knows what he's going to do yet. I legitimately don't. But I would assume that he goes Javen Coleman. I'm not confident there. I don't know that. I just don't know who else he would go to. I really don't know who else he would go to. I mean, you're going to have somebody else up in the bullpen ready to go in case shit starts getting crazy. Now, they just announced game times, too. Tomorrow's game is going to be at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, back in prime time, baby, for the right to host the Super Regional. Right to host the Super Regional is on the line. Advancing's on the line. Guys, this is it. Like now, like tonight was nut cutting time, and you prevailed. 2 games was nut cutting time, and you prevailed. Tomorrow's going to be win or go home, literally. And well, in 2 different aspects. If you win, you're going home. Really find out what you're made of tomorrow, man. You found out a lot about your team this year. Found out a lot. Sam Hilbun says he was involved in a catcher's interference in game 1. Thank you, Sam, for the $2 super chat. Could be something possible. The only issue, Sam, that I have with that is that didn't he catch like 4 other innings? Or no, he caught 7 innings after that. If it was really bothering him, you would assume, that it bothered him. I'm going to do some digging on the Milazzo thing. Sam, I'm like, guys, I'm playing a hunch. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Legitimately don't know. 1,000%, praise Jesus. I hope that I'm wrong. Jay just all year, like you guys have been watching him all year. Damn, there's 1,647 people in here. I forget. Oh, Milazzo. I have no idea. I'm playing a hunch. Everybody do us a favor and hit the like and share. But Sam, that's a really good point, though. Jack says, do you think the lineup changes tomorrow? Jack, thank you for the super chat. My question would be, change it where? Like who? Like who do you change it? Now, the question becomes, you just won 2 games today, and both you pretty much ran the same lineup out there. With that being said, I mean, if you just won 2, the question becomes, why do you change it? I thought Braswell had a good game. I thought that Braswell, look, I'm just going to be honest. I know he had the really tough play at short, maybe should have fielded it and thrown it to first. I still think that was a very tough play. I think it was a tough play for any shortstop to run that far. I mean, guys, he's 5 feet from Tommy Tanks and gets all the way over there. I thought it was the best range that he had shown all year. In reference to him at the plate, I do like him in that leadoff spot. If Jay runs out with that lineup tomorrow and everything is the same, I have no issues with that. No issues with that whatsoever. So Jay, excuse me. What would you change it to? Tell me inside the chat. Who would you change? What would you change it to? Todd Davis says Cruz walked 71 times last year. He came 1 away from tying Eddie Furness's program record at 72, according to LSU Wire. Yeah, and I mean, Cruz had, 2 games in the Super Regional. And how many games did we play in Omaha last year? I mean, Bear Jones isn't on that level of Cruz, but it still gives you some kind of relevance to where he is. Because, guys, he's got 55. Let's say, God forbid, he gets a walk tomorrow or 2 walks tomorrow. You advance. God forbid you go to a 3-game series with West Virginia and he gets a lot of walks. I just think I was saying that too. Thank you, Todd, for giving me that. That's a really good stat. How about Dylan Cruz walking 71 times? I think dude is seeing the ball very well. Very, very, very well. All right, there's 672 of you in here, and not all of you have hit the like and share. If you're on Facebook, hit that like, hit that share to all those groups and all those social media pages. All right, if you want your comment read, put it inside the super chat, and we will 100% get to it. I'm going to try to get to some of these comments here. Caleb Jackson says LSU is the home team tomorrow, too. Are they really? Are they really? Did they win a coin toss? Wait, we for sure. Somebody bean count that. Caleb, I'm not saying you're wrong, but wouldn't they flip it? Yeah. Michael says, why are the commentators eating corn dogs today? That's a bunch of bullshit. I don't think that was about LSU. I think that's what, like, he was the guy that he was saying, like, hey, that would those guys are. What did he say? It's not LSU related. Not LSU related. Trip Block says, who has the upper hand on pitching tomorrow? I really don't know. I really don't. It's a great question, Trip, with the $199 super chat. I really have no idea. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I would say, here's what I would say. I would say, Trip, that they do because you've used a lot of arms. Okay. I feel like it's them. I feel like it's them. You've used a lot of arms. Kisma said, Kisma, I see what you're doing. I'm not reading that whole thing. Says maybe not everyone likes it. P.S. I hit the like button. Yeah, y'all better hit the like button. Y'all better hit the like button. Anthony says Tommy needs to get back that chirping up tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with Tommy, man. I mean, look, bases loaded tonight. I thought, and he hit a lot of baseballs very hard. Very, very, very hard. It's just that Gallagher, the freshman at third, made a lot of really good plays. But when you needed him, he did deliver on that RBI single. I think tonight he had two. ESPN or LSU data said he had two times at the plate where he at bats had 105 off the bat and one at 103 off the bat. I mean, he was hitting it hard, man. Very hard. I get what you're saying, but he hit it very hard. Jake says that ESPN is reporting games at 5 tomorrow. Good. Prime time, baby. Prime time. Our good friend Ryan Williams over the Drake Williams Law Firm says, what a name. Laughing face emoji. I'm assuming he's talking about Kisma. Yeah, Kisma Azhole is that's a creative name. Jake says Braswell in the leadoff spot has been a very good look. A very good look. Very, very good look. LSU on Twitter says, Blake, you're awesome. Thank you for all you do, brother. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Normally I'm just getting ripped alive. It gets old after a while, but thank you. I appreciate that, LSU. Stephen Fry says this will be a game. Our good friend Stephen Fry over Fry Construction says this will be a game where Jay throws the kitchen sink, Tupperware, and all the silverware at UNC. Yeah, and look, man, I got to be honest. Look, man, we got to put some faith in Jay. Now, if it doesn't work out, I mean, Jay has really pushed a lot of buttons. And look, before we get to it all here, and everything is done with, let me just say this. Jay has done a fantastic job this season. Are there some things that I disagreed with him on this year? 100%. Was he trying to push every button that he could? 100%. Like, for example, today against Wofford, he went with Ackenhausen. And I thought that it was the right move against Tennessee to go with Ackenhausen. I also think that Ackenhausen, like he shouldn't have pulled him against Tennessee, and then today Ackenhausen's unable to really get things going. Here's what I also think. I think Ackenhausen plays better, or pitches better, I should say, versus UNC versus Wofford, because Ackenhausen just wants to pitch. when he starts getting guys on, has to pick over and all that kind of shit. Did y'all legitimately see him in the first? My dude was winded. He was out of breath. He couldn't get shit going. So I think he plays better. There. Do I think that you get in a place tomorrow where anybody sees UNC's lineup more than once? Probably not. Now, if Coleman is dealing, then yeah. What would the announcer say today, that UNC's batting 112 points lower against lefties? I mean, you could find yourself in a situation you can go Coleman, Ackenhausen, and see if Cade Anderson, but I don't like them seeing Cade Anderson twice. I don't like that at all. Cole Adams says, yeah, the announcer said the Super will be at the box if LSU wins tomorrow. That's correct, because they have the higher seed, and they put in a regional bid. Dwayne says, not saying this matters, but I think the pressure has to be greater on UNC. I don't agree with that. I think both teams have the same amount of pressure. Both teams have the same amount of pressure. I don't agree with that. Because, I mean, like, look, man, West Virginia is beating Grand Canyon right now on the top of the third, 7-3. It doesn't matter there, but if you guys, I'm just telling you, if you win tomorrow, okay, like if you win tomorrow, you're going back home for a super regional. And it is very difficult, and I know that it's happened before. It is very difficult to beat LSU at that place. And that place is going to be freaking rocking. If you don't, I'll just tell you, I still think it was a very good season considering winning the national championship, how you've had to come all the way back. I mean, and you've pressed a lot of really good buttons. I'm proud of this team, man. I'm very proud of this team. I don't know how y'all feel. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm proud of this team. In the chat, I'm very proud of them. Just like I was proud of Dustin Poirier last night. Very proud of him. LGZ says no one should see the lineup twice tomorrow. I agree with that. I agree with that. 100%. Jerry says UNC at home, that's an advantage. Well, of course it's an advantage. Of course it's on an advantage. But if you win tomorrow, you're going back home. And then you're playing now to go to Omaha. So I don't know if I agree with that. Todd, what is confirmed? Todd Davis, what is confirmed? That we're the home team tomorrow? Can somebody, Jeezy, find out if that's. Hold on, let me text. Where's my phone? I'm gonna put in a text right now to see. Yeah, somebody bean count that for me. Is that what you're confirming? LG said we're the away team. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Because normally, if you would have been away tonight, you would have been home tomorrow. That's what I thought. Trip Block says last one, but $4.99 super chat. Last one, but yes, it's been confirmed we are home. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I thought the rule was if you go into a situation, tonight's team, like it would flip-flop. That it would flip-flop. That's what I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Timmy Martin says no super bids have been awarded unless a national seed. They said hope for the best in the telecast. Brother, Timmy, if you win tomorrow, you got a super regional at the box. West Virginia and they're not going to host at Grand Canyon. That 1,000% they're not. And West Virginia, they're not going to host there over LSU. I'm sorry. They're not. Like, they're not. It's not going to happen. I don't give two Rudy Poos what they tell you on the telecast. You mean to tell me that if West Virginia wins tonight and LSU wins tomorrow, we're going to West Virginia? Bullshit. The hell we are. That ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. Jake says there's someone on Tirade that explained the rule that gives us home advantage. I'm just going to wait and find out. I'm just going to wait to find out. Michael Morris with a $4.99 super chat says, on ESPN app, they always post the home team as the team on the bottom. LSU is listening on the bottom of the ESPN app. Or he probably means listed. Ingrid says, I got my mom watching. Y'all, you are all she hears me talking about. How about that? How about that? You got to love it when it's a family affair. Kisma. Thank you, Ingrid. Kisma says, I said, let's trust Tiger Rant. Why are you coming after me? I'm not coming after you, bro. But Kisma, I do think you in here trolling, though. I have no idea. I have no idea. Here's the truth. It don't matter. Go out there and beat their ass. Here's the truth. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Ricky Collins in the chat. What's up, Ricky? Not the quarterback, Ricky. I'm just playing along. Stephen Perilou says, we can agree on this. If Herring doesn't have the outing he had today, we don't play tomorrow. That dude delivered when it mattered most. 100%. 100%. And look, man, close the door. I mean, they didn't get another run, right? Or they got one run. I forget the final score, but close the door. I thought today, and for what it's worth, okay, I thought your bullpen was pretty good. I mean, the Cade Anderson, like, look, I showed you the K zone, okay, on UOA. I don't know what else he can do. Like, we showed you that earlier. I have no idea what else he can do. Zero clue. Like, zero fucking clue what else he could do. None. And then you get a weak little grounder that hits third base and it scores too. I mean, I don't know what else you can do with that. I mean, you've been all right. I mean, you've been better than their bullpen. That's for damn sure. I mean, they got patty smacked. Aaron Miller says, win tomorrow and eat a tapo? Hashtag if you know, you know. Aaron Miller, what's that mean? Aaron, explain to me. What does that mean? Chase Aber says 0 arrows on LSU today too. They locked in, Blake. Yeah, I mean, they didn't give Braswell there, which I agreed with. I don't think that was an error in game one. On the base hit. I will tell you something that does. I will tell you something that does bother me or worries me a little bit. What does worry me a little bit is, like, in the ninth inning, Stephen Milam was playing in right field, right? And you had a guy on first base. God forbid you got a or a ground ball to second base there. You're not rolling it. I would love to know after the season what their thought and logic is behind doing some of these defensive shifts that they're doing. I do feel like that teams that we play against are in better positions than we have been this year. I do, however, think that a lot of that has to do with luck, because last year, I mean, Mark Wanaka does all those shifts and stats and analytics. And I thought last year he was really elite at it. With that being said, it's mind-boggling sometimes. Mind-boggling. But you're about to see what you're made of. I will say this too. I don't know how much, well, how do I want to say this? I do think that you are more battle-tested than UNC. Can you come back? And here's another thing. What do they have left? They have not been in the game, a whole other game than you have. Now, Griffin came in and closed the show. Do I think he goes tomorrow? No, I don't. But your season's on the line. Can he give you an inning? You know, like, can Griffin Herring come in tomorrow in the ninth if you're up a run and close the show? It really also hurts too. That Christian Little is unavailable. And I tweeted this out earlier too, and I said, listen, I do feel as if that not having Christian Little available right now in that ninth inning was crucial. And a lot of people, Gavin Guidry just stuck out Vance Honeycutt. That's true. But the truth is, you want a dude of the caliber of Christian Little to be available. I'm not saying pull Gavin Guidry. You just want somebody that's available of that caliber too. Nicholas Graves on Facebook says, the only thing I've never liked about Jay is that he does shift a little too extreme. Yeah, and he gives that to Wanaka. Guys, don't come in here and talk about other hosts. No matter what they say, stop. It's aggravating as fuck. Coleman, he also says Coleman and Moffitt have to give you their best tomorrow. I agree with that. Ray says we home twice and visitors twice. North Carolina was home twice and well, it's a good point. I don't know how that rule works. We'll see. Doesn't matter. Go out there and beat their ass. Slim Green Bean. Maybe we can call it, maybe this is Cade Anderson. Dude, that Cade Anderson throwing 95 on Vance Honeycutt at that last pitch. 95 at the hands, and he couldn't do shit. Slim Green Bean says, is Little even there? Heard he was on the injury list. Somebody that is at the tournament said that Christian Little was there. He is at the tournament. He is not on the list for available players. But he was sitting in the stands next to a very good friend of mine last night and again tonight. So is he there? Yes. Is he available? No. But that's what I'm saying. I really wish you had him available, but you don't. You don't. Aaron says UNC has been the home team more than LSU so far. Today was UNC's first visiting game. It's an NCAA rule outside the initial round of regional play when seeding takes precedence. How about that? I did not know that. I thought it would have flip-flopped. Jake says Rocco's staff is sweating watching these Tigers. That's true. Could you imagine if LSU went back there? Because, look, man, I'm just going to tell you, if you get to Omaha, anything can happen. Do I think you're better than Tennessee? No. Do I think that you're better than some of these teams that are still clearly out there? No, I do not. But if you get to a super regional, I will tell you, how much does it got to suck to be an Arkansas fan? Man, let me tell you something. Because this is how y'all would do. And Arkansas fans aren't going to do this. If Jay Johnson were to do what Dave Van Horn has done since 2019, y'all would run him out of town. y'all 100% would run him out of town. I think Virginia's good too. I think Virginia's very good. Oregon State's up on UC Irvine. They're good. West Virginia's up still 7-3 on Grand Canyon. Yeah, man. A lot of really good teams out there, but it doesn't matter. If you get in, anybody can win it. Brian Thompson says every player has to give their best. Every player has to give their best tomorrow, no doubt. Your whole whole team's got to perform. Whole team. Anthony says, Blake, we need to win tomorrow. Let's send the seniors off in epic fashion next week at the box. You're going to need everybody, man. You're going to need everybody. All right, let me see something here. Any thumbs up, thumbs down? Do you want to end the show tonight? Does anybody want to talk about football recruiting weekend that we put on the forum? I had a pretty extensive update on our message board. Go over there, sign up, ayssnetwork.com/forum. Guys, $7 a month. I mean, come on. Finally, some things are starting to pick up in recruiting. A lot of you have been questioning why hadn't there been more going on. That's not on me. I'm not going to go out there and start writing shit when shit's not happening. I thought over the last month and a half, over the last I'll even say this, over the last 60 days, other than portal recruiting, not shit has really been going on. And I'm not going to type shit just to type shit to make you feel better and give you false hope. I'm not going to do that shit. But thumbs up, thumbs down. All right, we got thumbs up. Kisma, come on, bro. I don't understand. I don't know if you're trolling or not. Todd Davis says, what about Simeon Barrow? That, like I told y'all last week, that ship is, or this past week, that because there's been a lot of chatter. Todd, we talked about this on, we talked about this on Thursday, I think, at pretty great length. That ship has sailed. Look, I'm not going to get into it in reference to what I truly think, because it's not going to benefit anybody. But here's the truth. They wanted Demonic Williams. They went in all in on him. It burned the ship with Simeon Barrow. He signed financial aid paperwork, and then he wanted out. LSU wasn't going to let him go or transfer anywhere into the SEC. I thought that it was really good reporting by Matt Zenitz at 247. He kind of talked about on Friday what we talked about on the show Thursday, that I did think that LSU was going to let him out of it. I think that they're going to let him out of it. I do think that Miami promised shit that didn't work, that didn't happen. And I think LSU burned their bridge with him. Does he go to Missouri? Does he go somewhere else? Yes. Do I think he comes here? No. I think that ship has sailed. If you get around to it tomorrow and miraculously he starts talking to LSU, I think it would be a miracle, and I think the guy can play. I do, however, believe that if you brought him in, he would be a day one starter for you, which I don't know why we can't just stop being petty to some extent and mend fences. I think that what doesn't get called out enough is when bridges get burned. Okay, well, why did the bridge get burned? Well, the bridge got burned because of money, and the kid got burned because you told him that you wanted him and you went after somebody heavier than you went with him. So he was like, all right, man, well, everything you told me was bullshit. I mean, that guys, that's just the truth. So on Simeon Barrow, I would be utterly shocked. Secondly, in reference to high school recruiting, I don't think that do we make up ground in some areas? So there were a lot of big time recruits on there. Were a lot of big time recruits. look, DJ Pickett has been the 5-star DB. I don't think he's a corner at 6'5" needs to be playing corner. That's just me. Is what it is. I don't think you made up any ground. I think the kid knows exactly what LSU is, where LSU is. I don't think there is more ground you can make up. I do think that this is going to come down to some NIL. I think Miami is still firmly in it. I know a lot of people are saying they want to put their pick in. Here's what I would tell you. If he commits soon, that means LSU gave a financial commitment. Do I think that they will do? Here's opinion. Do I think they will do that? I don't know. At least not right now. The receivers, Lockett and French. Look, Texas both trending for them. Ohio State's been in play with a lot of these receivers too. I think it's a crapshoot with a lot of these guys. I think you'll bring in some guys next weekend. Wide receivers, Jacorian Moore will be back next weekend. And by the way, I'm going to say this. I'll be petty. Jacorian Moore's camp asked for people not to share that they'd be here this next weekend. Got it right here on the handy dandy eye Blake. But his camp did not want it out there. And of course, somebody fucking leaked it. So we'll see what happens there. Go to the write-up to my feeling. AYSSnetwork.com/forum. I gave you everything that I heard, everything that I feel. Brew, the DB from Texas, big-time Ohio State lean. Are you in the mix? Okay. Do I think you could flip him from what Ohio State has done at the current moment? No, I do not. It's a pair of defensive linemen there, okay, as well this weekend, interior defensive linemen. Here's what I will tell you. What I will tell you is I do think high school recruiting at the interior defensive line is picking up. I think the kid Brown that is committed to Texas, which we talked about this morning, I think that has started to pick up. Can you make a flip of the Florida prospect? I think Zion Williams is another interesting prospect in the state of Texas that has a connection with Bo Davis. So now that we are in June, I would say that things have started to pick up defensively. So we'll see. Also, Damian Shanklin, okay, the edge player. Here's where things start getting a little bit interesting. I know a lot of people questioned, okay, about Kevin Peoples. I don't know why anybody started questioning Kevin Peoples because the dude can recruit. Now, here's what's interesting. Shanklin is a guy from Indianapolis, Indiana. A lot of people had thought that he was going to be a Notre Dame lean. He's a top 50 prospect in the country, 6'4", 230-pound edge guy. LSU has done a lot of work there. A lot of work there. Ohio State has gotten into the fold here late too, which I do believe has been made people a little bit antsy. But a top 50 recruit from Indianapolis. I do think that the tide has started to flip a little bit here in reference to Shanklin. So not only Zion Williams, Brown, I think that right now, if I'm being honest, from a high school recruiting aspect, I feel a lot better about what you've been doing. Now here comes the thing. You got to close. I think you can close on Shanklin. I think Williams is an interesting prospect. Can you flip Brown, who, by the way, Brown committed to Texas, the defensive tackle from Florida, committed to Texas when Bo Davis was still the defensive line coach at Texas during the playoff. I think he committed in December. So here we are. I feel a lot better at that position. That's pretty much all I got. Very much all I've got. So we'll see. We'll see. Steven says, Blake, you bust your ass doing these postgame shows all season long. If LSU gets the opportunity to play at home next weekend, you need to take a break and go rock at the box. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But that's what I got. I don't feel good at corner. I think DJ Pickett's going to come down to what you're going to do NIL wise. So yeah, that's that. All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow night after the game. We'll do another post game for what might be a super regional or LSU heading to a super regional or the end of their season. So until then, we'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace.